So once we've marked the floor plans at your venue, the next very key stage is the site survey. So when we do a site survey, we will come to the venue with our head installer and usually myself, and we will walk around the space and hopefully be given a good number of hours on a day that is empty at the venue, when we can come round and measure up as much as humanly possible at the venue. And in all honesty, site surveys take 2 or 3 goes throughout a venue relationship, and often 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times we're always back at the venue measuring up new stuff, because it's amazing when you actually go to a venue how many different things there are to measure. And so in the first stage, we will mark and measure the main items that we want to use as our standard products at the venue. And these include walls, pillars, floors, doorways. We need to know how wide they are. Things like access into the building is a very key part of the site survey, so that we can understand where we're coming in, where there might be storage if at all possible. There's lots of stuff like that. The site survey is a huge range of things, not just measuring, but measuring is a major part of it. And the way that we gather measurements at the venue is that we use an app which takes a photograph of a surface, a wall, whatever it is that we're taking a picture of, and then we draw the lines on and then write the measurements onto that line. And the really helpful thing that does is mean that later, 2 years down the line, when I need to reference that picture, I don't just have a scribbled down note in a notebook that is 60 by 20 and I'm going, I can't remember which way round that is. Is it this way, portrait, landscape? Because we've got a photograph of the item with measurements on it, anybody who sees that picture can know exactly what size that item is. So that's a really helpful way of gathering those measurements to ensure that they are understood by everyone, but referenced later. And then we rename all of those photographs to be the reference that we've marked on the floor plan. So we've catalogued all of those pictures, made sure that we've separated them into the different areas of the venue. So it's very helpful and easy for us to be able to then find those later. And that kind of information is all part of the back end of what we do as a company to be able to help understand and organise the venue so that we really do become venue experts. So a couple of other things that we would do on the site visit is understand any of the health and safety elements of the venue. So we'd want to chat to you guys a little bit about if we were to install this item at height, how can we go about doing that? We've got our own ladders, all of those kind of conversations we would have. Load in and load out elements is obviously really helpful as well. Things like signing in when we come in for an installation, signing out again when we go out. All of the kind of nitty gritty bits of making the everyday kind of venue relationship work really well and smoothly are the kinds of things that we work out on the site survey. Other things that we do on the site survey is we test the wall surfaces and different materials that we've got in the venue to make sure that they won't damage the space. That's a very, very key part of our relationship, is making sure that you invest in a partner that isn't going to damage the space, but actually hand it back to you in the way that you gave it to them at the start of the event. And we are committed to making sure that the venue returns back to you in the best way possible. And so that is a huge part of it, testing materials and making sure that we know what we're doing when we offer those products to clients. So there are lots of other things in there, but the last thing would probably be just the timings. So it's really important for us to know how long it would take for each item to be installed, so that we can then put a specific number of minutes and number of men required to fit that item. And this will come into play when we do the quoting, because every standard product that we do, we've got sizes for, we've got materials for, and we've got an estimation of install time and number of men required to fit that. And that will essentially help us understand exactly how long it will take to fit the whole project for a client. And so if you as a venue say you've only got 1 hour in that particular room before the client needs to use it, we can say, well, the client's booked 40 minutes worth of branding in that room, that should be fine. So hopefully that will be a really helpful explanation of how we do site surveys at your venue.